Okay. Picture this. You are down in the Venice of America. That's the nickname for Fort Lauderdale,
It
right?
is, yeah, it's a very fitting nickname too.
Right. So I want you to really lean into that image for a second. Imagine a life where your car is tucked away in the garage. Maybe it's plugged into an EV charger. But your primary mode of transport, or at least your primary mode of fun, is a boat parked literally at your doorstep.
It's a genuinely compelling image.
Mm.
And when we talk about Fort Lauderdale, that Venice comparison isn't just marketing fluff. It really is a city defined by its canals.
Definitely.
But the property we are looking at today takes that canal lifestyle and mixes it with something else entirely. This ultra high-tech, privacy-focused architectural philosophy.
Exactly. We are doing a deep dive today into 160 Marina Bay, and we're basing this on their detailed property brochures, the floor plans, their amenity lists.
All the primary sources, yeah.
Right. And our mission here isn't just to read off a spec sheet. We want to really analyze what this specific property tells us about the current peak of waterfront living, because it's combining intense privacy with smart home integration and a very specific architectural flow.
And right off the bat, the thing that grabs you is the scale of it.
Or the lack of scale, honestly. Because when I think of Florida waterfront condos, I usually think of these massive glass towers with hundreds of units.
Oh, absolutely.
But this is something completely different.
It is remarkably different. We're looking at a boutique development in the Venice Isles neighborhood, and the key number here is 16.
Just 16.
That is it. 16 residences total in the entire building.
I mean, that's smaller than some people's extended families.
Right. It feels like we are talking about a private club rather than a condo complex.
It changes the entire dynamic of the building.
Exactly. You aren't walking through a lobby with 200 strangers. It creates a level of intimacy and privacy that is actually quite rare in new construction these days, especially right on the water.
So let's unpack the building itself first. The source material talks a lot about flow-through floor plans. Now, to me, that just sounds like real estate jargon for an open concept living room.
It's actually much more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, flow-through specifically refers to the orientation of the unit itself. In this case, the design emphasizes an east-to-west flow, which is critical because of the sun.
Right. Okay.
In a typical condo, you might only face one direction. So you get the morning sun and then your place is dark by 2 p.m. Or you face west and get that afternoon roast.
The greenhouse effect, where you have to pull the shades down just to watch TV because the glare is melting your furniture.
Exactly. But with these flow-through layouts at 160 Marina Bay, you have exposure on both sides. You are capturing natural light from sunrise all the way to sunset.
That makes a huge difference.
And you get true cross-ventilation if you want to open the doors. It connects you to the natural rhythm of the day in a way a single exposure unit just can't.
So it's almost like the building is breathing.
That's a great way to put it. And looking at the floor plans, these aren't small spaces to ventilate either. We are talking about residences ranging from roughly 2,875 to over 2,900 square feet.
That is a full-size house.
It is, and that doesn't even include the terraces. The outdoor space adds another 400 to 550 square feet.
Wow.
And because of that flow-through design, you have these massive glass walls, impact-resistant floor-to-ceiling glass that basically erase the line between the living room and the water.
And notice the ceiling heights, too. 10 feet.
Which is substantial. Standard apartments are usually 8 feet, maybe 9 if you are lucky.
10 feet totally changes the psychology of the room. It creates volume.
Yeah.
When you combine 10-foot ceilings with floor-to-ceiling glass, you completely lose that claustrophobic apartment feeling.
Right. It feels like an estate that just happens to be floating in the sky.
So let's break down the two types of units mentioned in the brochure. Because with only 16 units, there aren't a million floor plans to memorize. You've got the Amalfi and the Portofino.
Right, so the Amalfi units are the corner residences. The big draw there is the wraparound terrace. It connects the living area and the master suite.
Nice.
Architecturally, what's interesting about the Amalfi is how they've handled that master suite. It's actually situated in its own wing.
A wing? Okay, that sounds fancy. Like something out of a period drama. I shall retire to the West Wing.
It's all about privacy again. Even inside the unit, you have separation between the primary bedroom and the guest areas. If you have people over for cocktails in the living room, the master suite is physically and acoustically isolated.
And the Portofino.
The Portofino are the center residences. These really maximize that east-to-west flow we just talked about. They have these large east-facing terraces accessible from both the living room and the master suite.
So in the Portofino, you are really channeling that wind tunnel effect in a good way with the sea breeze.
Precisely. It maximizes the view corridor down the canal, and that view brings us to the feature that gives the building its name, the marina.
Yes, the marina in Marina Bay. Because having a balcony overlooking the water is one thing, but actually being able to use the water is another. And the stats here are wild to me. 16 units. And how many boat slips?
14.
14 slips for 16 units. That ratio is almost unheard of. Usually there's a waiting list or a lottery, or you have to fight your neighbor for a spot. Here, it's practically 1-to-1.
It suggests that the developer knows exactly who their buyer is. This isn't just someone who wants a water view. This is a dedicated boat.
Absolutely.
And the access is crucial. The brochure specifies deep water access and implies no fixed bridges.
Which means you aren't stuck in the canal with a little pontoon boat. You could fit a real vessel here and get straight out to the Atlantic.
Correct. No fixed bridges is the magic phrase in Fort Lauderdale real estate. It means you aren't limited by height. You can have a sailboat with a mast or a sport fishing boat with a tuna tower.
Just hop in and go.
You have direct access to the ocean without waiting for bridge schedules or worrying about clearance.
And looking at the renderings and the amenity list, these aren't just concrete posts to tie a rope to. The slips have electrical and water connections. It is a fully serviced private marina.
It turns the dock into a highly functional space. You can wash down the boat after a day out, keep the batteries charged. It's professional grade.
Imagine the convenience of that. You wake up, you decide it's a nice day for a run to the Bahamas or just a cruise down the coast. You don't have to drive to a commercial marina, haul your gear from the car, find a cart.
You just take your private elevator down, walk out the back door, and you're on the boat.
Yeah. And when you get back, the building is designed to support that outdoor lifestyle. There's a waterfront pool deck right there overlooking the canal, a cabana, a BBQ area.
It creates this social hub right at the water's edge. It is very much designed for entertaining.
It sounds like the perfect Saturday.
Yeah.
Boat all day, come back, grill some steaks by the pool, watch the sunset.
It is a seamless transition from marine life to home life.
Okay, let's step off the boat and go back upstairs, because we really need to talk about the interiors. The brochure uses the phrase chef-inspired kitchen, which is a classic real estate term. But do they have the hardware to back it up?
They certainly do. They are signaling luxury through the brands. We're seeing a Sub-Zero refrigerator and freezer, a Wolf 36-inch cooktop and convection oven, and a Miele dishwasher.
The holy trinity of high-end kitchens.
Basically. But think about why those brands matter. Sub-Zero isn't just a status symbol. It has dual refrigeration systems that keep food fresh significantly longer. Wolf ranges offer precision heat control that you just don't get with standard stoves.
It implies that the person living here actually cares about food quality.
Or at least they want the option to cook a 5-star meal if the mood strikes, and they've paired that with Italian cabinetry and quartz countertops.
Beautiful.
But there is a detail in the dining room that I think speaks to the lifestyle again. The built-in entertainment bar. It comes with a Sub-Zero wine cooler installed. It's ready for a dinner party from day one.
You don't have to call a contractor to build out a wet bar. It is already right there.
Right. It facilitates flow. You aren't crowding the kitchen to get a drink because the dining area is self-sufficient.
But here is where it gets really interesting for me. The smart home stuff. We see smart home thrown around a lot, and usually it just means a fancy thermostat you can control from your phone.
Right.
But 160 Marina Bay seems to be taking it a few steps further.
They are integrating a Lutron lighting control system and a whole home in-wall smart home system. The idea is to unify everything.
Right.
You can use voice control for the usual suspects like temperature, lights, audio-visual equipment. But did you catch the detail about the bathroom?
The shower. You can voice control the master bathroom shower.
Yes.
Just yelling out to start my shower at 102 degrees. That is living in the future.
It is the ultimate convenience. Think about those mornings when it is a little chilly. You can start the water from the bedroom, let it warm up, and step into a perfect environment. It removes that tiny bit of friction from your morning routine.
But then there is the surprise feature, the digital medical examination kit.
Yes, this is absolutely fascinating.
What exactly is that about? Because I have never seen that on a condo amenity list. Is it just a fancy first aid kit?
It appears to be much more than that. The brochure describes it as a kit for facilitating remote examinations with a healthcare professional.
Okay.
So we are likely talking about diagnostic tools, digital stethoscopes, high-resolution cameras for dermatology, maybe otoscopes, devices that allow a doctor to actually examine you remotely, not just talk to you on a Zoom screen.
So it's distinct hardware included with the condo itself.
It appears so. It implies a very high level of